So trying not to slip and kill myself now is actually going to help me speak more authentically. So if you're somebody who is wanting to be able to speak in your content, or just in general, I guess, but more specifically in content creation, in a very authentic way, in a way that's very much you, in a way that your true self and your frequency can really shine through, then allow me to offer some advice, because I feel like I've somewhat cracked it, if that is a thing to do. I mean, you can tell me, you can see if I'm, and I know you can feel if I'm being inauthentic or not. So the first and foremost, the most important thing, in my opinion, and maybe I'm being biased because I was in the sort of psychology space around attachment styles and everything before, limiting beliefs, subconscious work, etc., etc. What you want to be able to do is identify where you have resistance to speaking in general in content creation, but then also, let's say, authentically. Now, the reason that's so important is because there are limiting beliefs, ideas, conditioning, patterns that are sitting in your subconscious because of past experiences or memories that you have that are actually stopping you from showing up as your truest, most authentic self, especially during content creation. I mean, it's not easy to sit in front of a camera, to speak in general, never mind to be your most like authentic, vibrant, in frequency self. Now, just off the top of my head, a couple of limiting beliefs I have faced and overcome to be able to get to where I am now is the fear of being seen. That's a big one, because when you're making content, it's actually much easier to be inauthentic, because that way you're hiding who you really are, what you really are. You're hiding all the quirks and the things that make you your weird self. Like, for example, if I were to slip on my ass right now, which I did like 10 seconds before making this video, which is actually what inspired me, I would have kept that in, because that's authentic, that's real, right? It would have been true to me, it's what happened. But the fear before was that if somebody saw that, if somebody really saw me, being silly, being dumb, being whatever, I would be judged. I would be outcasted. I would live my life alone. People would laugh at me, blah, 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 blah. So that's one. Another one I had before was this belief or idea of needing to structure my content so that I could show up as the best version, right? So that I could be hitting all the important points, so that I could be hooking people the right way, etc., etc. That in itself defeats the whole point of authenticity. Authenticity is being you. It is actually, and this is a point I'll get into in the next piece of advice, it is actually about not structuring. It is showing up in flow. It is showing up in your natural essence and frequency, which ironically will actually allow you to be more impactful, both emotively, both like connection wise, as well as you'll be tapping into information you forgot you even have. And yes, you might miss out on some points and things like that, but ultimately, again, authenticity, what's the point? To attract those who appreciate the authenticity and therefore are more aligned with you, which ironically will actually bring in more aligned, subscribers, clients, whatever, people who are there for you and what you can offer. Now, those are just like two. And the point I'm really trying to make is when you can start to identify those limiting beliefs, aka I have to be perfect, and aka it's scary to be seen, things like that. And you can start to work with them on the subconscious level, aka finding out where they come from, shifting that perspective, releasing emotion around it, so on and so forth. It'll start to become easier for you to at least try or attempt to show up more authentically. Now, point number 2, very obvious point, practice, right? Even authenticity takes practice. And what I mean by that is not, I did this before, therefore I need to do it again. No, it's like, as you practice being authentic, you will start to see what feels authentic to you. You will start to see when you feel clear and in alignment and in your frequency versus when you don't. And when you can start to basically extract the things that make you feel not in alignment, not authentic, that's the point of the practice, because then you'll start to be more and more authentic. So for example, what I noticed was if I was sitting down and like trying to make the perfect background and things like that, it felt inauthentic. It felt like I was performing. Versus now, when I'm literally just taking a walk outside and I'm letting the background be whatever the background is, I'm not worried about that. I'm not thinking about that. I'm more free to just be me. Now, this comes to like my third point, and I think I'll end it here on this point, but it is probably one of the most important points, which is you need to get your mind out of the way. Your mind, aka right now, your ego, is heavily controlling you and trying to keep you misaligned, keep you inauthentic. So if you can find ways of naturally distracting or turning off the mind while you are creating content, that is probably one of the biggest hacks you could do. For example, me taking this hike up this mountain, I've recognized and realized through obviously trying and practicing and everything that my mind naturally switches off, and therefore I can just speak as myself authentically about whatever comes to me. And ironically, which actually was quite a surprise to me, the amount of information I have stored in my subconscious naturally comes up when the ego is no longer in the way, trying to block it. And it flows better and it feels better. And as I said, you can feel I'm being authentic, I'm being real, right? Because there's nothing holding me back from that. My mind, and therefore the ego, is like distracted by, coming back to my original point, focusing on not falling and slipping on my ass and hurting myself. So I guess my invitation to you on that last point would be to find things and try many different styles, versions, etc., that allow you to tap into a space where your mind can, as I said, switch off or be distracted. Because that is when you're going to most easily slip into a more authentic space. And flow with that. Don't be scared of that, because you will feel it and it's going to scare you a little bit, because you're like, oh shit, I'm being authentic. What are people going to think and feel and blah, blah, blah. Feel into it. Practice. That's also part of the practice. Getting used to the feeling of authenticity. And then I guess bonus tip, trust. Trust. Because when you are performing, when you are going off of ego, when you are trying to be something you're not, you're going to be worried about like the hooks, the structure, the bullet points, all of that kind of crap. Forget it. If you want, actually this might be more beneficial. Study it so that it almost becomes like a natural part of your subconscious, but ultimately forget about it. Don't let those ideas or thoughts or worries come into your content, because again, it's going to pull you out of the way of authenticity. You're going to be worried then about, oh my God, are they going to be attracted by this hook? Like, are they going to stay long enough? Blah, blah, blah. The point is the authenticity, right? So if they can feel the authenticity, like you might be feeling with me, that's what's going to attract you. That's what's going to attract them, because they're here for you. Anybody can make a bullet point list of like 5 things to, be more authentic. 1, stand in front of your camera and make eye contact, right? And you can feel the tone is like lame and like robotic, and it's not them, but it's this connection, it's this authenticity that will differentiate you, even if you say the same thing. So I hope that was helpful. Those are some things I've picked up and learned around authenticity. Ultimately, my channel, if this helped you, great. Do not subscribe to me unless you are somebody who has touched true fulfillment and wholeness. by connecting with source. And this is more of a general or broad video because I know that there will be some of you in this audience, because usually people who have done that will want to show up more authentically and in their frequency and alignment in every aspect of their life. So if that's you, I invite you to subscribe. If not, and you just enjoyed the content, awesome. But if what I just said intrigues you, you're also welcome to subscribe. Any thoughts, feelings, or questions, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.